Welcome back. Well, we get back to that inquiry into state capture, of course, which has resumed in Parktown. My colleague Mzandile Mbeje is out, of course, in Parktown, set to give us a few sentiments of what exactly has continued to happen outside and inside, rather, the inquiry into state capture. Mzandile, they've now adjourned for what is meant to be a short break, of course. They did start a little bit later than usual. They will continue for an extra hour as well today and an extra hour tomorrow. But today's proceedings have indeed been quite telling as well.
Absolutely, Arabile. We've been expecting the names to be dropped throughout this commission because when Mr. Agrizzi started, he did indicate that he had about 38 people that he was going to implicate, and then going as far as to say some of those people were high-profile government people. I think what we heard today, Arabile, was that we heard how Mr. Agrizzi used to have dealings with the current Minister of Environmental Affairs, Minister Nomvula Mokonyane. Basically, what he is saying is that she was being paid 50,000 rand a month by Mr. Kevin Watson. You know, Bosasa has been involved in all this kind of corrupt activities. So I think that was really one of those shocking stories of the day today, where a witness is fingering a government minister, basically saying, though the monies were not necessarily being delivered by Mr. Agrizzi himself to Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, but there were times where Mr. Agrizzi says he was present when that money was being delivered, and then he says it was 50,000. So that is quite interesting there, Arabile, as this commission continues. Of course, he is also mentioning another name of someone who he says was a middleman, Siopola, who basically was someone who was a connection, who was politically connected with regards to the Department of Justice and Correctional Services. So that person really would want money, and then Mr. Agrizzi would give him money, and then he would then pay that money to the people that he needed to pay to. Also interesting, Arabile, is that Mr. Agrizzi says at some point he complained about the payment that was being made to Ms. Nomvula Mokonyane, saying, I mean, they continued to pay her, but there were no returns to Bosasa. So he says he wanted at some point to stop doing all that, because as a business, they actually had the capacity and the capability to do the work. But he says when he raised this matter with the CEO of Bosasa, Mr. Kevin Watson, he told him straight that we are in Africa, we will do as the Africans do.
Sad tale there indeed. They're coming out of that inquiry, Mzandile. Indeed, thank you so much for that. We'll continue to watch those proceedings live as they continue to unravel. As we said, there's the COO of Bosasa there, Angelo Agrizzi, continuing to give testament, his account of state capture proceedings, particularly with that company, Bosasa. And it's a little concerning, of course, the words coming out of that inquiry as well.